Hi guys, Casper MMA here, and today we're back with another UFC predictions video on the channel. Today I'm giving my predictions for UFC 314, Volkanovski versus Lopes. So it looks a really good card this week. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping, praying to God it's an exciting card, because these last couple of UFC events, like recently, have been shocking. I mean, it's been just boring and that. So looking forward to this one. I don't want to talk about the last UFC predictions video we did. It was UFC London. I didn't do that great on picks. Prelims was fine. I'm pretty sure we only got one pick wrong there. But when it got to the main card, it went terribly wrong. The only pick I got right on the main card was Ulberg. I picked Edwards. What am I thinking? He's so terrible. Never picking him ever again in a fight. The rest of the card, yeah. I don't know. It was an awful card, and yeah, back too many like English guys, I think. But we're moving on to this week's card, and before I get into it, make sure if you're new around here and you're not already subscribed, go down below and hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's much appreciated. So we've got 13 fights on this card, and we kick things off with the first prelim of Nora Cornolle versus Hayley Cowan. Now, Cornolle, I don't know how you say that name, but Cornolle is 8-2, French woman. She's 35 years, so she's getting on a bit, but she did lose her last fight by split decision to Cavalcanti. I remember I picked her to win that one because Cavalcanti was on like a week's notice or something. She was really short notice, but she got the job done still, and her only 2 losses in her career are to Cavalcanti, to be fair. Apart from that, she's got a pretty decent thing. I mean, most of her wins are by KO, which you don't see a lot in women's fights. She's got 1 submission and 1 decision in there as well. She's fighting Hayley Cowan, who is 7-3. In total, in the UFC, she's 0-1. I mean, she fought on the contender series, won by split decision, then came in and lost to Jamie Lynn Hoff by unanimous decision. So, I mean, she's alright. She's got a few decent wins in her career, to be fair, in the LFA and that, but I don't think she's at the level that Cornolle is. And yeah, I do think that Cornolle is going to win this by decision. Now, moving up the card to Tracion Gore versus Marco Tulio. Now, this was a decent fight. Tracion Gore, he's 5-2. He's not too bad, to be fair. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. Both wins by guillotine. One by standing guillotine, the other by just a normal one. Before that, he obviously didn't have a great start to his UFC career. Lost to Brian Battle and Cody Brundage. But he's redeemed himself, come back-to-back submission wins. And obviously had some good wins on the Ultimate Fighter as well. So I think he's a decent fighter, is Tracion Gore. But he's also fighting a good opponent in Marco Tulio, who is 13-1 in total. Won his first fight in the UFC to Ilia Topuria. Won on the contender series. Both of them wins by KO. I mean, he's got 9 wins by KO out of 13 in his career. He's pretty decent. I like him a lot. His only loss came back in 2018. So I could see this going either way, to be honest. I could see maybe Gore getting another guillotine win. I could see that happening. But I'm going to be backing Tulio. I feel like he's really good. He's got a lot of wins by KO. And I feel like he's going to get another win by KO here. Now, moving up the card to Sumudaerji versus Mitch Raposo. Now, Sumudaerji, I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not too sure. He's 16-7 at the minute. Not doing too great in the UFC. He's on he's 3-4 on a 3-fight losing streak at the minute. I mean, literally all of it. He's like he's had 7 losses in his career. 6 of them have come by submission. This guy's allergic to submissions, apparently. He's been subbed 3 times in the UFC, twice in his last 3 fights as well. But he's had some decent wins in his UFC career as well. And yeah, just been on an unlucky run at the minute, I guess. And yeah, but apart from that, he's got many wins by KO. 13 wins, so he is a dangerous guy, to be fair. Mitch Raposo, on the other hand, 9-2. Lost on the contender series in his I don't know when that was yet, 2021 to Jake Hadley. He lost by submission. He was also in the Ultimate Fighter before that as well. But since then, he went on a really good run, and then he came to the UFC and lost a split decision to Andre Lima, which isn't too bad in retrospect, since Lima is still undefeated, I'm pretty sure. Or wait, might not be undefeated. Yeah, he is 11-0 undefeated. So Lima's really good. So going split decision isn't the worst thing ever. So both these guys, they're not too bad fighters, but both coming off losses in their last fights as well. But I'm going to go with Mitch Raposo. I think he might be the underdog, which I feel is slightly putting him down a bit. I feel like he's a decent fighter, and I feel like he's going to get the decision against Sumudaerji. Now, moving up the card to Cedric Dumas versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. Now, another fighter who's not on a great run recently, Oleksiejczuk. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. Also, well, he's only won 1 of his last 5 fights, and that was to Njakani, but he KO'd him there. I mean, literally all of his wins recently have been by KO. Oleksiejczuk, but he has lost a few times. I mean, he lost to Kevin Holland, Michael Pereira, Sharon Magomedov in his last 3 fights. Kai Barallos, they've all been decent fighters, but yeah, he's not been doing too well in them. Cedric Dumas, on the other hand, he's 10-2 in total, and won his last fight to Dennis Tululin, which it would be pretty hard to lose, to be honest, to him. To be honest, he was 11-9 going into that fight. Before that, got KO'd by Ruziboyev. But both these guys have beat Cody Brunish, to be fair, so that's a joint win there. But both of these guys have a chance of winning this, I feel like. Both not the greatest fighters at the minute in their career, but I'm going to back Oleksiejczuk to finally get a win again. I mean, he's been on a bad run, but I feel like Dumas isn't at the level Oleksiejczuk is at, and I feel like Oleksiejczuk is going to get the KO. Now, moving up the card to Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. Now, this looks a fun fight, to be fair. Both these guys are getting on a bit in their careers, I think. they're both like 35 plus years of age. Yeah, Darren Elkins, 40 years of age, 29 and 11. He's been around for God knows how long, for a very long time. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, to be fair to him. He's doing pretty well. Beat Daniel Pineda in his last fight and got a rear naked choke against TJ Brown. He just goes to war, really, Darren Elkins. I love watching his fights. If he's not covered in blood by the end of it, it's not a true Darren Elkins fight. Julian Erosa, on the other hand, 30 and 11. He's 35, so both these guys getting on a bit. 8-7 in the UFC. Is also on a 2-fight winning streak, so both these guys in decent form, to be fair. Both his last 2 wins coming by guillotine. I mean, I've made sure I picked against him to beat Christian Rodriguez, and don't know how he managed to get that guillotine there, but that's a decent win there. So I feel like I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fun fight. I'm hoping it is, and I feel like Erosa is going to get the job done. 5 years younger, I mean, it doesn't really make much difference, but I feel like Erosa is going to get the win, and it's going to be by decision. Now, moving up the card to Chase Hooper versus Jim Miller. Now, not sure why this fight's happening, really. Chase Hooper is like so much younger than Jim Miller. To be fair, Chase Hooper's just getting fed old people at the minute. His last fight, he beat Clay Guida. Now he's got Jim Miller. He's just picking off all the old people in the division at the minute. But yeah, obviously, well, Chase Hooper is, let's have a check their ages right now. Chase Hooper is 25, whereas Jim Miller is, how old is he? 41. So there's like a 16-year age difference there, which is crazy. I don't know if that's like the biggest in like UFC history. I don't know what the biggest one is, to be honest. I mean, how old was like Clay Guida when he fought him? Clay Guida was 43, so he's fighting a younger fighter this time, to be fair, which is crazy. But yeah, obviously Jim Miller was on a decent run, to be fair. He beat he had a few good wins, and then he lost to King Green on UFC 300. Did come back with a win against Damon Jackson, so he's still got it, to be fair. Jim Miller is still very dangerous, to be fair. He's still a good fighter, even at 41. But Chase Hooper is obviously the younger guy. I feel like Chase Hooper is really good, to be fair. I mean, he showed it against Borshev when he basically nearly KO'd him, and then managed to sub him in the second round. Obviously, he's got some good wins. He's great at submissions, Chase Hooper, and I feel like he's going to win here by submission. Now, moving up the card to we're still on the prelims. Yes, we are. Werner Jandiroba versus Xianyon Yang. Now, I've definitely mispronounced the first name there, but Yan, the Chinese woman, 19-4 in her career, is coming off a win against Tam Ritchie in her last fight. Obviously fought Zhang Weili for the belt. Before that, did get beat, but I do think she's a decent fighter, Yan. She always puts on decent fights when I watch her. Her opponent, Jandiroba, is 21-3, so pretty decent record. Both these women are 35 and 36, respectively. Most of her wins in her career coming by submission. Jandiroba, 14 of them. So she's pretty dangerous. I mean, she beat Lemos in her last fight by armbar, which is pretty decent, on a 4-fight winning streak as well. So she does have the momentum coming into this fight, but I'll be picking Yan to win this one, though. I just think Yan is a really good fighter at the minute. I mean, she literally fought for the belt not long ago, and then she's come back off a win as well. So I'll be going for Yan to get the decision. Now, moving up the card to Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. Now, this is a fun little fight, to be fair. I think it's the last prelim on the card. Dan Ige, 18-9 in his career. All 9 of his losses coming by decision, to be fair to him. Has lost his last 2 fights, but obviously he fought Diego Lopes on, like, what was it, 6 hours notice or something stupid, so he can't really count that as a loss, really. And then obviously lost to Lerone Murphy, who is really good. We've just seen him beat Emmett in his last fight. Lerone Murphy's he's class, to be fair. People say he's boring, I agree, but he gets the job done. What more can you ask for? So, Dan Ige obviously KO'd Andre Fili before that. He's a decent fighter. He obviously gets beat a few times, but I like Dan Ige. Sean Woodson on the event, 13-1 in total. He's on a pretty decent run at the minute. I mean, his only loss was to Julian Erosa, who we've talked about on this card already. But since then, he's had 1 draw and then lots of wins, a lot of wins by decision. I mean, last fight he KO'd Padilla in the first round, which was pretty impressive, to be fair. And he's got some pretty good wins in his record as well. So I feel like this could be a close fight. I feel like either man could win this, but I like the pick of Sean Woodson here. I mean, he's so long for the division, man. He's like, I don't know how tall he is, but when you look at him in there, he's like fucking slender, man. His arms are so long. I just feel like Dan Ige is quite a short guy as well. He's just going to be able to pick him off at range and just, like, keep him there. So I'm going to go with Sean Woodson to get the decision. Now, moving at the card to the main card now. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Now, Nikita Krylov is finally back. I thought he'd died or something, to be honest. He hadn't fought in so long. But last win was against Ryan Spann back in 2023. Obviously got it win by triangle. He's on a 3-fight winning streak, to be fair. Alexander Gustafsson, Ozdemir and Spann. I mean, Krylov is really good, to be fair. I mean, he's only lost to great people, to be fair, like Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira, Paul Craig, and Ankalaev. So he's 11-7, to be fair, in the UFC, because obviously he was in the UFC a while ago, then left, then came back. So I do like Krylov. He's a decent fighter. I mean, he's had a 2-year layoff now, though. Well, longer than 2 years. Dominic Reyes, on the other hand, is on a 2-fight winning streak. I mean, I'm loving the Dominic Reyes comeback at the minute. Went on a 4-fight losing streak, but KO'd Jacoby, KO'd Anthony Smith. I like the way he's going at me. He's coming back for that title again. So, I could, honestly, this could be a close fight. I don't know how Krylov's going to look after taking 2 years off. Maybe he's been training, looking better. I don't know. But I'm going to go with Dominic Reyes. The momentum's building. He's coming for that title again. And I'm going to go Reyes to get the decision. Now, moving up the card too. Yair Rodriguez versus Patrício Pitbull. Now, this is a fun little fight, this one. Pitbull's obviously first fight in the UFC. Yair Rodriguez is coming off 2 losses, but we obviously got KO'd by Volkanovski after winning the interim belt against Josh Emmett, which is a decent win there. Beat Brian Ortega a while ago, but then lost to him in his last fight. That was a kind of pathetic performance for Rodriguez. As soon as he got took down, he was out of the fight completely. Rodriguez, he looked terrible on the ground, just looked weak in that. But his opponent, Patrício Pitbull, 36-7. He's 37 years of age, so he's a latecomer to the UFC, to be fair. But he is still winning fights in Bellator on that. He won his last fight to Jeremy Kennedy, won by punches, knees and elbows. So he did the whole combo on him there. But his last fight before that, he lost. He got KO'd in Rizin. Then he lost to Pettis in Bellator. But obviously has some very good wins in his career in Bellator. Obviously he got the win against Michael Chandler and stuff like that. So he's obviously a very good fighter. But he is getting on a bit now. I'm not sure how old Yair Rodriguez. Let me just check. He's 32, so he is 5 years younger than him. And I do think that might play a factor here. So I'm going to go with Rodriguez to get the decision. Now, moving up the card to Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. One of the fights I'm most looking forward to this weekend. I mean, this one looks class. I saw the press coverage stuff. It's just funny in that. I love Gene Silva. He's obviously looked incredible since coming to the UFC. I mean, what is he now? 4-0, including the contender series. He's got a win there as well. He's looked unstoppable, really. I mean, 4 wins in the UFC, 4 wins by KO as well. I mean, what more can you ask for? Bryce Mitchell, I do think, is probably his toughest matchup yet, because he is no joke to first 17-2. Obviously, got KO'd by Josh Emmett. That was a bit, and well, his 2 losses, that Josh Emmett KO, then Ilia Topuria sub. But he came back with the win against Kron Gracie, which is pretty impressive to be fair. Got the finish as well. So I'm not sure what to go with this fight. This is probably the one that took me the most like deliberating along with the main event. I could see Gene Silva winning this. I mean, if he manages to finish Bryce Mitchell, that's so impressive, and he could probably be a future champ. But I feel like I'm going to go with Bryce Mitchell here to get the job done. I feel like his wrestling, I feel like if he gets Gene Silva to the ground, he'll be able to keep him down, and he might just keep him down on the floor for 3 rounds. That might happen, you know. I can see it happening. So I'm going to go with Mitchell to get the decision here. I mean, I would rather be proved wrong. I really want Gene Silva to win, but I feel like Mitchell is going to get the win. Now, moving up to the co-main event, Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Now, love this fight here. Love Paddy the Baddy. He's just so good, isn't he? I mean, obviously, that triangle choke against King Green was absolutely hype. Love that. Beat Tony Ferguson beforehand. Obviously, did the robbery against Jared Gordon. But he's got many wins in the UFC. 6-0. 11 wins in his career by submission. Can't hate Paddy Pimblett. Unless you're like not English, probably. I don't know how many fans he's got around the world, Paddy Pimblett. But Michael Chandler, coming off his loss against Charles Oliveira, that was pretty bad. I mean, he lost like 4 rounds, and then like started aura farming in the last round, which was a bit weird. But yeah, Charles Oliveira beat him there for the second time. Then lost to just Dustin Poirier before that by rear naked choke. So I feel like this is an easy pick. I'll be going with Paddy Pimblett to get this job done. I mean, he's the much younger fighter as well. I don't know what age is Paddy Pimblett. He's 30-year-old, and yeah, I just see Paddy getting the job done. I mean, I don't know if he gets the submission. I mean, Chandler's only been submitted once in his career by Dustin Poirier, I think, and I can see Paddy Pimblett winning by decision here. I can. Now, moving up to the main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Now, this fight, I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy Ilia Topuria has moved out of the division. It means we don't get to see Volkanovski KO'd anymore. Let's go. I'm saying that, but watch him get flatlined by Diego Lopes. Let's pray that doesn't happen, please. But yeah, a lot of people saying this fight was a lot of people very confidently picking Volk here, like saying how there's no way he loses to Diego Lopes, and Lopes is one of the worst title challengers in like history. But I feel like Diego Lopes has many problems for Volk here. I mean, he's such a good fighter. I mean, I've watched him since he's joined the UFC. I mean, that fight against Evwev, like, just proved how good he was. Then since then, he's looked unstoppable, really. I mean, he's just really good. I mean, Dan Ige was like the hardest fight he's had, and that was because he was probably the short notice and everything about it, the weight and everything. But then he almost killed Brian Ortega, literally woke him up with a punch and stuff, and a pretty decent win there. But he is fighting Volkanovski, who is a different animal. I mean, we disregard his last 2 fights. They don't count, really. I mean, the Makachev one was short notice. I mean, why did Charles Oliveira have to pull out of that? It's ruined everything. But obviously, Ilia Topuria is class as well, so we don't count that loss either. Volkanovski is just the GOAT, man. He's so good. If he's back at his best, I mean, he's took some time off, at least since his last fight. It's over a year ago now. So I like Volkanovski here to win. I can see a world where Diego Lopes wins as well, but I'm more confident on Volkanovski winning, and I reckon he gets the decision. So there are my picks for UFC 314. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my picks. So that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, maybe leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.